Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. For this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a pendant using materials from the dollar bead box. And you will actually have enough materials to make 2 pendants. So I used beads from the dollar bead box and bag to make this pendant. And the only thing I used that was mine for just the pendant was 11O miyuki seed beads and fireline. That's it. Now for the rest of the necklace, you could do whatever you want. But for this necklace here, I used chain. This chain is from a previous dollar bead box. I don't remember which month it was. I want to say it might have been November or October's box, but I'm not totally for sure. And I just took the leftover gem cut rondelles and I did some beaded links there. And here is what I did for the closure. This is one bead I had left over, so I thought, why not use it in the closure? And I love this chain because the links are soldered shut. They're not cut links. They're, so it's really good quality chain because it's not twisted shut. It's soldered shut. So anyways, you have enough materials to make 2 of these pendants. I'm going to make the second color in the video today. This pendant is very similar to how I made this one. This is a previous dollar bead box tutorial that I did, and I really love how this one was made. I had so much fun designing this one and it went so smoothly, and I wanted to do something similar because these here button beads, I thought they were pretty cool and I thought I could use them in the center, so I did something similar to the center on this one to this one. Now these button beads have a coating on them that's called California. And when I design jewelry, you have to make things, take it apart. A lot of people hate taking it apart, but that's all part of designing it. You make it, you take it apart. I like to take pictures of it with my phone, and I can take it apart and see what I have to do differently to make the design work. So because I have to, handle it a lot, I noticed that the metallic finish on the button bead started coming off. So it's actually a clear bead. You could see through it. And it has a metallic coating on it. So what I did is I took clear nail polish and I just coated the bead with clear nail polish to preserve the finish. So it was a matte finish, but now it has a sheen to it because I put clear nail polish on it. So if you're going to make this pendant, I recommend that you paint it with clear nail polish. Do both sides. Do the edge here. Make sure it's dry. I let mine sit overnight just to make sure that it was on there really good before I made the pendant. Now I used beads from the dollar bead box and bag. I used the Czech fire polish beads in 2 sizes, the 4mm and the 3mm, and I really loved the Czech gem cut rondelle beads. I used both sizes to make this also. So here is the bigger size, and here on the edge you could see the smaller ones, and I also used the smaller ones here on the top, and I just used the leftover ones that I had for my chain here. So this is going to be really fun to make. Here's the list of materials you will need to make a pendant. You will need to cut 6 feet of 8-pound fireline, and I'm using 8, but you can use 6 if you want. I've just been using 8 more and more, and I haven't had any problems with getting through beads. And look at this, I've almost gone through 300 yards of this thread. It's crazy. You're also going to need a size 10 beading needle. You will need a 15mm Czech button bead. The dollar bead box comes with 2 of these, and this is actually, I think, the second time I've gotten these. This also comes in a white color, opaque white with a little bit of gold running through it. It's beautiful. I used them on a bracelet before in another tutorial for the dollar bead box. So if you go to their website, you'll probably see other beads in this color. And again, this is a 15mm Czech button bead. You're also going to need 18 3x5mm Czech gem cut rondelle beads. You will need 36 2x3mm Czech gem cut rondelle beads, 18 4mm Czech fire polish beads, 9 4mm Czech fire polish beads, 45 3mm Czech fire polish beads, and 11O seed beads, and these here are miyuki. And remember, this is a list of materials. I always put the list down there in the description bar below the video so you can see everything you need, and I'll tell you the colors that I used in this one. I'm going to start by picking up the 4mm Czech fire polish beads, and I'm going to be using the smaller rondelles. These are the 2x3mm rondelles for the top here. I'll be using the larger ones for where these pink ones are at. Those aqua blue ones will be there. So I'm using the smaller ones of those, and I'm using the 3mm Czech fire polish beads and the 11 seed beads. So I'm going to start by picking up a 4, my rondelle, my 3mm, and my rondelle. Just like this, I'm going to slide all of these beads down my thread. And I want to leave an 8-inch tail because that is the best length to leave for going back and finishing off. So let's see, here's 8 inches, so I'll hold it right here at the 8-inch mark. I'm going to take my needle, pass back through all 4 of these beads, making a circle. Okay, just like this. I'm going to go back through that 4mm. Making a circle. Okay, and I'll just check it real quick. Okay, 8 inches. We're good to go. So now I have this. Okay, I'm going to use this tail. I'll wrap it around my ring finger to hold on to this. Oh, and by the way, I haven't noticed these Czech fire polish beads, the metallic ones, I haven't noticed them changing in color, and I've handled them a lot. They seem to be really good quality. I'm going to take the needle, I'm coming out of the 4mm, I'm going to pass through this rondelle. Just like that. Now I'm going to pick up a 3mm and a rondelle and a 4mm. I'm going to pass through the rondelle, just like this, and pull the thread through. Now I have what looks like this. I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to pass through the 3mm and through the rondelle. Pull it tight. I'm exiting out of the rondelle, which means I have to pick up my 4, a rondelle, and my 3. Pass through the rondelle. Go through the 4 and through the rondelle. Pull it tight. I like to wiggle it back and forth, because if you just pull it, it's not really doing that much. So if you wiggle it, it kind of pulls it through better. So now I have this, and I'm going to pick up a 3mm because I'm on the top. My thread's exiting out the top beside the 3s. So I have my 3, my rondelle, and my 4, and I'm going to pass through the rondelle, pull it through, and now I have to reposition myself again to pick up more beads. So I'm going to go through this 3mm and through the little rondelle. I kind of want to say that these 2x3mm size, I think that's what it is. Yeah, 2x3mm. I want to say that they're about the size of a 8 seed bead. I should compare them. Okay, so now I have this. I have 4 done. I need a total of, I think it's 9. I'm going to keep going. So I'm coming out the bottom now. That means I have to pick up a 4, and then my rondelle, and then my 3. Passing through the rondelle. I have this. I'm going to take my needle, go through the 4, and go through the 3. Pull the thread through. And again, pull it tight. After every one you make, pull it tight. And again, I'm coming out the top, right beside the 3s, so that means I have to pick up my 3mm rondelle and the 4, and then I'm going to pass through the rondelle, pull the thread through. I have to go through this 3 and through the little rondelle. Pull this through. Go back and tighten it up. This is what I have done so far. I'm going to keep going until I use up all of my 4mm. I need 9 4mm in a circle. So I'm going to pick up a 4mm because I'm now exiting down here at the bottom with the 4s. And then I'm going to do a rondelle. And then my 3mm. Passing through the rondelle. Now I'm going to go through this 4 and through the rondelle. Pull the thread through. And again, stop, pull it tight. We need it to be very tight. And this is what I have. I'm going to pick up a 3 again because I'm exiting out the top here with the 3mm. And then a rondelle, and then a 4. I'm going to pass through this rondelle. And then I have to take my needle and go through this 3 and through the rondelle, repositioning the needle so we can pick up more beads. Again, pull it tight. This is what I have now. So now I'm coming out the bottom of this one, okay, and I have, I think it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now I have to close this up. So I'm coming out the bottom of this little rondelle. To close this up, I have to pick up my last 4mm, go through this rondelle on the bottom side. So when I pull it, see how we're getting the circle shape there? Now I have to pick up a 3mm Czech fire polish. Okay, I'm going to go through this rondelle, and this is going to be closed shut. Just like that. Now I have to reposition my needle, and I have to get up in here so I can add my seed beads. So I'm going to take this needle, pass through this 4, just like that. I'm going to hold it in place. And then I have to go up through this rondelle and through that 3mm. So again, I'll hold this between my fingers and pull the thread through. I'm going to pull this really tight. And I'm right-handed, so I like to work away from me, so I went this way. So I'm just going to pass my needle through this hole. And now I'm working in this direction, which is away from me. Okay. So I'm going to take and pick up 1 seed beads. These are the Miyuki bronze seed beads, and these are my favorite color of seed beads to work with. And you know what? I have never ever noticed these tarnishing. These always stay the same color. They are really good quality. Okay, and there's not a coating on them. If you break them, they're actually solid. This color is going all the way through the bead. So I'm going to take this needle and pass through the next 3mm, and we're just going to pop this seed bead in between those 2 beads right there. Pick up another seed bead, go through the next one. We're just filling in these gaps. 1 seed bead at a time. And you guys probably won't have a problem with your button bead discoloring because I handled it so much, you know, trying to design it. You're just going to be making it. You probably won't be tearing it apart like I did unless you have an accident. But I think you'll probably be fine. You probably won't have that problem. Just make sure you put the clear nail polish on it to preserve it. Okay, so that's what I have done so far. Keep going, filling in between the 3s. There's 1 more. I'm going to go through this one here. Okay, I'm putting the last one, so I'm going to pass through this one. And since this is right angle weave, You kind of have to go one bead at a time. I'm pulling this really tight now. I'm going to take the needle coming out this, I'm going to go down this rondelle. Now we have to get in position to add more beads. We're going to mirror what we just did here. Okay, and then through a 4mm. Okay, so now we have one side complete, so I'll put the button bead under there to show you. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. So that's what it's going to look like. So I have to keep going doing this side, and I'm not going to do any more of the 4mm. I'm just going to be doing the 2x3 rondelles and the 3mm Czech fire polish bead. I'm going to pick up a rondelle, a Czech fire polish, and a rondelle. Okay, coming out this bead, I'm going to go through this one. I'm not going to go through the next one, just the one bead, and pull my thread through. Now I'm going to take my needle and pass through this rondelle. Okay, pull that tight. Now I'm going to pick up a 3mm and a rondelle. I'm going to pass through this 4, and if I can, I'll pass through the rondelle. Okay, so I picked up those two there, passing through those two, pulling this through, getting caught on my desk. I now have this, so I have to take this needle, pass through this 3, the rondelle, and through the 4. These 2 beads, and then through that one. Pull this through, and make sure you pull this tight. The tension is so important. And this tail is on the inside of my work. I need it to be on the outside. So I'm just going to pass it through that hole. See that hole right there? You want to make sure it's on the outside. Okay, that's good. Pulling that tight, what we just did there. I'm going to keep going. So I have to pick up a rondelle, my 3mm, pass through this rondelle and through the 4. Pull this tight. This is going to want to fold in. Then take the needle, pass through this rondelle. Then pick up the 3 and a rondelle, and see that there? It's loosening up on me, so I'm just gonna pull it tight again. Now I have my 2 beads here. I'm gonna pass through this 4 and through the rondelle. I have to take the needle, pass through the 3mm and through the rondelle, or not rondelle, yeah, 3mm, rondelle, and 4mm. It gets a little confusing sometimes, all the different sizes and names. Okay, so I'm about halfway there. I'm coming out to 4. Now I have to pick up a rondelle and the 3, take the needle, pass through this rondelle and through the 4mm. Pull this tight, take the needle, go through the rondelle, pick up a 3 and a rondelle, go through this 4 and through the rondelle, pull it tight again. So we'll be putting that button bead in last. You know, when we get this side done. So I'm coming out the rondelle. I'm now going to take my needle, go through the 3mm, this rondelle, and through the 4. And I constantly have to flip this over so I can pull it, the thread, in my direction. Okay, I just like to go like this and press it down. It helps with the tightening. Coming out the 4mm, I'm going to pick up a rondelle and the 3. Coming out right here. Again, I have to turn this, pass through this rondelle, and through the 4. Pull the needle through. Take the needle, go through this rondelle. Again, I'll pull that tight. I'm going to pick up a 3mm and a rondelle. Coming out this rondelle, I'm going to go through this 4 and through the 3. And then I have to take the needle and go through this 3 and through the rondelle and through this 4 and through this rondelle. Let's see if I can do it all in one shot. So just like that, okay. Pull it through. Okay, we're getting ready to close this up, so I'm now going to pop the bead into place. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that in there. Make sure you pull it tight. Where's my tail at? There it is. Okay. So I have one 3mm to put there to totally close this up. So coming out this rondelle, I'm going to go in through this rondelle and through the 4. And then I'm going to come up the rondelle. And because I like to work away from me, I'm going to go through this 3mm. Doesn't really matter though which one you're going through. Okay, see how it's loose? We got to tighten it up. Pull that very tight. And now we're going to add our seed beads. So again, pick up one seed bead at a time, and you're just going in between the 3mm, popping that seed bead in there. This is making our bezel tight and keeping that bead in place. Pull it tight as you go. Pick up one through the next bead. This cat is getting so close to my bead mat. Putting another one in, going through here. So this rose color is going to be the back side of my pendant. Rose gold color, or copper. One seed bead at a time, in between all of the 3mm. One left, picking it up, I'm going to pass through that bead there. I'm actually going to go through a few more just to make sure this is tight. I'll go through 3 beads. If you want, you can go around and reinforce the whole thing. And push this down. Okay? Make sure it's flat. So this is actually the top. And this is the bottom. Now I have to exit out of a 4mm bead. So I'm going to pass down through a rondelle. And I like to work away from me, so I'm going to pass through this one. Actually, I'm kind of upside down, so let me see. Coming out this one, I'm going to work in this direction. This is the top, so I'm going to go through this bead. So look at that. Somehow I managed to come out the same bead that my other thread is exiting out of. How weird is that? That's weird. Okay. So now we're ready to go on to the next step. But this is what it looks like. And this is the same as this pendant. The center is. Okay, it's pretty much the same. Now we're going to do something different to make it look more like this. So now we're going to be working with the 3 by 5mm Czech gem cut rondelle beads and the 3mm Czech fire polish beads. And I'm just going to take this tail, wrap it around my finger here so I can hold this, and we're going to work in this direction. My working tail's coming out this bead. I'm going to take my needle and pick up a 3mm, pass through the next 4, and we're just going to pop it into this place here, filling these holes. I got stuck at my desk again. Okay. One at a time, pass to the next bead, filling in the gaps. Now I did make a boo-boo when I was first designing this. Oh, and by the way, press this down like that. It makes the 4mm pop out more. And when you pass to them, you're not getting all wrapped around the other threads that are already in the holes. So anyways, I made a boo-boo when I first made this. Instead of doing the 2x3mm rondelles in between the 3 and 4mm Czech fire polish beads, I did them on the top. And it caused this to warp really bad. So I swapped them. I put the rondelles in between the 3 and the 4s, and it worked perfectly. So make sure you don't do that, because you'll run into problems. Okay, so I just have to go all the way around, filling in between the 4mm with the 3s. And make sure you pull it tight as you go. Because if you don't, they won't sit in straight, they'll sit in at an angle. Keep getting caught in my desk. Drives me insane. And this is pretty just the way it is. If you want, you could just put these beads around the outer edge and add a little bail and make a pair of earrings. You know? Look how pretty it is. Just like this. Okay, I have one bead left. So this one I'm going to put here, and I have to pass through 2 beads. I'm going to go through the 4 and through the next 3mm, the first one that I added in this row. Pull it through. Now we have this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and pick up an 11/0, my, what was it? It's a 3x5mm gem cut rondelle, 11/0, my rondelle, and an 11/0. In this order, I'm going to take my needle and pass through the next 3mm. Like that. And you'll have to go through at an angle. It's easier to pass through it that way. Pull it through. And you will have to come back and fidget with it. Make sure it's laying properly. You want it to lay like that. I really like how the rondelles lay in this. They look great. So again, a seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead. Skipping over the 4, I'm going to go through the 3. And again, go back and just tidy it up. We now have this. And keep going. Do this all the way around. Do the next one. Tidy them up after each time you add them on. Seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, the next 3mm. Tidy it up. So it looks like so far. I love this rondelle color. I think it was called blue opal or something. It's so pretty. So it's pretty simple. You just need to make sure that you have really tight tension as you go and that the beads are laying right. So I'm just going to keep going around. seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead through the next bead. Pull it tight. Next bead. Oops, I accidentally picked up one. I'm gonna go back through. Take this bead out. Okay, and then go through my 3mm. I'll pick this one up, the extra one. Make sure that's sitting properly. Okay, and I just have a few more to do. So I have my seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead. To this one. Pull that tight. One more, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, and a seed bead. Coming out of this one, I have to go in through this one, and I'm also going to step up and come through that rondelle. So I have to go through at an angle. Okay, and I'm going to try to go through, if possible, 3 beads at one time. I don't think I could do it. So I'm going through, pick those beads up, I'm going through that 3 and through that 11 seed bead. And now I'm going to go through this rondelle. Okay, so there we go. We have another row complete. Isn't that beautiful? I love it just like this too. It's so pretty. So now we have to do the next row. For the next row, I'm going to pick up a 3mm Czech fire polish, a 4mm Czech fire polish, and a 3. This right here, okay? I'm coming out of this rondelle here. I'm gonna loop back around and go through this rondelle. Okay? Pull this through. And then I'm going to pick up a seed bead and pull these 2 rondelles together. This is going to make the pendant dome more. So there's my seed bead. Coming out this rondelle, I'm going to go through this one and through that seed bead. Pull the thread through. Just like that. I have to take this needle, pass through this rondelle. I have to pick up 1 seed bead, go through the rondelle. Okay, now I'm going to do this again, and I've actually learned that as I go, it's a good idea to push this in, because when it's sticking out like that, when you get to the end, it's too loose. So I always push that in. Again, I'm going to do the 3, 4, and 3. Just like that, going through this rondelle, through that seed bead I added, through the next rondelle, and through that seed bead there. I'm going through a lot of beads. Okay, pulling it through, it lays like this. So I need this to dome on this side because this is the top, that's the bottom, the color I don't want. I have to take the needle and pass through this rondelle so I could pick up my seed bead. So again, push this bead in. I'm going to pick up 1/11 and go through this rondelle and the seed bead. Oops, not the seed bead. Just the rondelle. Okay. Then I'm going to pick up my 3, 4, and my 3 size. I'm going to go back through this rondelle, through that seed bead that I added there in that hole, and through the rondelle. Again, I'm going to push that bead in and pull this tight. Now I have to take my needle, reposition it. I'm going to go through this seed bead and through the rondelle. Pull it tight. I'm going to pick up one seed bead and go through this rondelle. I'm going to pick up a 3, 4, and a 3. Coming out of this rondelle, I'm going to go back into this one and through that seed bead and back out that rondelle. Pull it tight and push that 4mm bead in. Take the needle, pass through this 11/0 and through the rondelle. Again, pull it tight, pick up a seed bead and pass through that rondelle. Make sure that those beads stay in as you go, okay? I have to pick up a 3, a 4, and a 3 again through this rondelle, through the seed bead, and through the rondelle. Again, push that 4mm in. Take the needle, pass through this 11/0 and through the rondelle. Pick up one seed bead and go through the next rondelle, filling in that hole. So you can see the little spots here, right here. That's where they were putting that one seed bead at. It gives it a nice shape there. I like how that looks. Okay, I'm coming out of the rondelle. Again, I'm going to pick up a 3, a 4, and a 3 through this rondelle, through the seed bead, and through the rondelle we're exiting out of. Pull through. Pull it tight, push that 4mm bead in. Take the needle, pass through the 11/0 and through the rondelle. Picking up one seed bead, I'm going to go through this rondelle. Then a 3, a 4, a 3, through this rondelle, through the seed bead, and through the rondelle. Pull it tight, push that bead in. Take the needle, pass through the seed bead and the rondelle. So now I have this. I'm going to pick up one seed bead, through this rondelle I go, and then a 3, a 4, and a 3. We're getting close to finishing this row. I'm going to go back through the rondelle, the seed bead, and the rondelle that I'm exiting out of. Pull that tight. I'm going to take the needle, pass through the seed bead and through the rondelle. Make sure that's pushed in. Pick up one seed bead, go through this rondelle. I'm now going to add the last beads for this row. So I'm right here. I have to pick up a 3, a 4, and a 3. I'm going to take the needle, pass through this rondelle, through the seed bead, and through that rondelle right there. Push that bead in. Okay, so we now have another row complete, and we're ready to do the final edge on our pendant. So now I'm going to do the final edge here, and something I like to do with this is put this onto a flat surface. This here is flat, but it's soft and cushiony. I like to put this on my table, and I just go like this and I press it down, and it helps the beads splay out more. So they have they're sitting more natural, I would say, where they would naturally be. And I do that now and afterwards. Before I tie knots, I press it down and flatten it out so they sit right. Okay, so I'm coming out of the rondelle right there. I'm going to take this needle, pass through the seed bead and through the 3mm Czech fire polish. I'm going to pick up a 4mm and I'm going to put them in between the 3mm and the seed beads. They're going to be going right here. On this one, I use the that magic red color, magic wine. This color. I only used, I think, 9 in these, and it was just on the outer edge. I would have liked to use them on the inside more. Maybe I should have left those blue ones out, but I wanted to put those there because I thought it would make this pop more. I don't know. But anyways, for this one, I'm doing the same color as the 3mm. So I picked this 4 up. I'm going to go through these 3 beads. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, I'm stuck on my table again. Picked up those 3. Pull that tight. Okay, so I have that done. So now what I'm going to do is work with the little rondelles again. So right there's that spot I just did. Now I'm going to do this. So coming out of the 3mm Czech fire polish, I'm going to pick up a seed bead, these tiny little rondelles. This is the 2 by 3mm gem cut, a seed bead, little rondelle, seed bead. Coming out of this one, I'm going to go into this one. So this is why I told you guys to push that bead in, because if it's not tight, it just doesn't look right. Coming out that bead, I have to pass through this seed bead and through the Czech fire polish, and it's such a big angle there, I don't think I could do it all at one time, so I'll have to do one bead at a time. And pick up the 4mm. We're going to put it right here. So go through the 3mm and through the seed bead, and then go back out the 3, and then pick up a seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead. Skipping over the 4, I'm going to go through this 3 and through that 11, and then through this 3, the next one. Don't forget to pick up the 4, through this 3 and through the 11 of seed bead. Pop that into place, pass through this 3, and then I could pick up my seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead. Coming out of this 3, I'm going to go into this one and through that 11 of seed bead. Take the needle, pass through the next 3, pick up the 4, pass through these beads again, through that 3, pull it tight as you go, pick up a seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead. Coming out of this 3, skipping over the 4, I'm going to go through this one and through the seed bead, and then up the next 3mm, and again I'm going to pick up a 4, fill in this little hole right here. I think that this pendant would actually look really cool sewn onto a bag. I've done that before, and I've showed you guys in previous videos how I took a pendant and I just sewn it onto a bag. You know my Beautiful Nights picture that I have on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel, that little picture that has a pendant in it? That pendant, I actually sewn that onto a purse. I don't even wear it as a pendant. So I'm coming out the 3mm right here. I'm going to skip over the 4 and go into the next. and then through that 3 there, and I'm picking up a 4, and my tail's right here. And I think I'm gonna have to come back and take this tail and bring it back up to the top of my pendant when I go to tie knots. So I have my 4mm that I have to put in this hole through the 3 there, and now my seed bead, rondelle, my seed bead, rondelle, seed bead through those 2, through this 3mm. Also, this probably would look nice on a wallet. It's so pretty. Okay, just keep going, doing the rest of the pendant. I kind of wonder what it would be like without these 4s there. Maybe I should have tried that. I did not try that. I should have seen what it was like. I wonder if it would lay even flatter. Okay, so I'm just still going, repeating the same steps over and over. When you go through this bead, if you go through it like this, it's kind of harder to get in there. So I always go from this angle to get in there. Okay, that's what I have so far. Let's see, I have to pick up a seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, through this 3 and through the 11-0, up that 3, pick up the 4mm, put it right here, okay, so right here I am, and I have to add my last little spot that has the rondelles and the seed beads. Picked up these. I have to go through this 3mm. Okay, and I'm going to be putting a bail here, which I forgot to get the seed beads for, so I have to go back and get them. But I'm just gonna go through this real quick with you guys and show you how to tighten this up. So I just put those in, right? I'm going to take the needle, pass through this rondelle, pass through the seed bead, that little one there that we added by itself earlier, pass through this rondelle, through this 3, the 11-0, and out that rondelle. Okay, so let me show you on this. See that right there? We're going to be adding a bail there. And I have to stop and go find some beads because I didn't get them out. Okay, so good thing I got the seed beads because I forgot to get a split ring out. So now's the time where you want to put this on something flat and just press it down. It's going to make the beads splay out more. It's going to make it lay better. And then we can do the little bail. So I'm going to do the bail right off of these rondelles right here. So I'm coming out of rondelle. I'm going to pick up 5 11-0 seed beads and a split ring, or you could do a bail if you have one that matches your pendant. I'm going to take the needle, pass through these 3 beads. Okay. The rondelle seed bead in a 3mm, pull this down so it sits like that, and now I have to go back through all these beads and I have to reinforce that bail that I just made. Oops. So I just went through the rondelle, through the seed bead. Now I have to go through this rondelle. I'm going to go through this 3mm, up the seed bead, the rondelle, the 2 seed beads there, through the split ring. Now I have to go back down, so I'm going to go through these 3 seed beads, rondelle, seed bead through the 3mm. Okay, so there's 2 passes, and I think I'm going to do 3. So I'm going to go back through all of the same beads again to reinforce my veil. Okay, I'm going to go through these seed beads again, to the rondelle, a seed bead, through that 3mm, and I think that is our 3rd time through. So I'm just going to tidy that up, pull it tight. Now I'm going to take the needle, pass through this seed bead, I'm going to go in this direction, and then through this 3mm, and through the 11-0, and now I'm ready to tie my half hitch knots. The knots are pretty easy to do. I'm going to tie one right here. I'm going to take my needle, go underneath my thread between these 2 beads, make a loop, and pass through the loop twice. And bring that knot down. Careful it doesn't get messed up, because sometimes that happens, and I'll just have to fix it with my needle. And then I'm going to pass through these beads, and I don't think I want to tie one here. I think that might be seen. So I'm going to go through this one. I'll go through this one and tie a knot here. So make a loop, pass through it twice. Bring that knot down, and now I have to reposition my needle so I could tie more. So I'm going to pass through the seed bead, 3mm, through this seed bead here, through this 3mm, and tie another knot here, and then I'll pass through these 3, tie a knot here, go down through these. So I'm kind of going up and down like this, tying knots, and I just keep going as far as my thread will take me, tying half hitch knots, going around the outer edge, reinforcing it, and I then trim the thread off. Now this one here, I wasn't paying attention and it got stuck on the back, which I think is no big deal, because see, it's right here. There it is. There's a hole right there. So I'm just going to take it, pass it through that hole. Okay, and now when I get done tying knots with this thread, I'll take my needle, put it onto this little tail here, and I'm going to pass my needle through this bead, through the seed bead, through the rondelle, seed bead, through here, and then I'll be up here and I'll be tying my knots on the outer edge, just like I did the other one. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. I went through my chain. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of the necklace, and I found this very old chain in my stash. I want to say I got it from a thrift store, but it's discolored some. It's aged, but it's like the same color as my gold Czech fire polish beads. It's really close, so I think I might use this. And I would like to do some beaded links on this one, but I don't know if I can get a wire through this chain. It's so thin. I'll have to go through my chain and see if or not through my chain, through my wire, and see what I have. But I think I might do that, or put it on a cord. I don't know. So this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry we've made from my videos on my Facebook page, and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.